I believe the Democrats are people who really honestly care about other people. Their ability to earn a living, their ability to have health care, their ability to go to free and public education. Those to me are Democrats.
Whereas there is a lot of prosperity and good things happening, that prosperity is not shared by all. And that's one of the things that I appreciate the Democratic Party for, is standing up for the voices of people who have been left out of economic well-being or even disenfranchised in our political process.
With Democrats in full control of the legislature, we passed a responsible, balanced budget that invests in our communities, fully funds basic education, invests in mental health counseling, and more than that, we passed really significant policy this year: equal pay for equal work, and banned conversion therapy. We ensured net neutrality at the state level. We passed a package of bills to make it easier for eligible voters to actually vote, our Access to Democracy package. All of that together means foundational change for Washington State as we help people who want to vote to actually be able to exercise that most basic right of voting.
There is a lot of concern right now in our country that the democratic institutions that we depend upon are at risk from people who are not respecting the balance of powers, the relative role of the legislative and executive branch, and that the influence of special interests and big money in politics is a flood that is drowning out the voices of working Americans and families in Spokane and across the country.
Basic American values are at stake. Do we step over our neighbors on our way to success, or do we stop and lift them up and take them with us? I believe that we've lost the idea that our collective success is dependent on our collective success, that all of us have to succeed, and trying to differentiate ourselves from those that have challenges because we don't have those challenges makes us weaker.
I am terrified by this current administration, and more so, I am deeply worried about all of the levels of government that lead up to it and buttress the toxicity we currently have at the federal level. That includes people like Kathy McMorris-Rodgers, that includes local politicians at the county level even, because really it's the local level and the state level and the people we send to DC who get to make day-to-day decisions about our lives. It's important for us to take this seriously and remember that this isn't just a red-blue race that happens every 4 years that's fun. There are people's lives at stake.
This is a big election. This is the election where we answer the question, are we going to accept what's happening right now in Washington, D.C.? Are we going to accept Donald Trump? The answer I'm hearing from my constituents, the answer that I hear every day in our community is no. We want to take back our country, that we want to expand our majorities in Washington State in the legislature here, that we want to put a responsible leader in the White House, and we want to take control of the U.S. House of Representatives and the state Senate, and we want to send Lisa Brown to be our congressperson in Washington, D.C.
We want smart people who are going to look for hard problems and trying to come up with solutions. We have a lot of real issues that are affecting everybody, particularly some of our most vulnerable. Lisa looks to find solutions that work for everybody, not just the wealthiest few, not just those who are doing okay. She looks to find solutions for everybody, and she puts people first.
One of the things that really impressed me about our state government in the last session is they got the job done. They passed bills and they created great policy and budgets that make investments in our communities, and they got it done on time. Imagine the contrast between that kind of governing and what we see in Washington, D.C. today. The paralysis, the inability to pass a budget, the inability to sit down together and find common ground. We need to see more of that kind of working together, finding common ground in the other Washington.
I am really inspired by what I see as a new infusion of energy. The passion and enthusiasm is manifesting itself into action. And we can have all of the strong feelings that we want to have, but until those are translated into actions that actually improve people's lives, then that's all it is passion and enthusiasm.
People are choosing not to stick their head in the sand, but really come out and show what it means to be a Democrat, what it means to have the values to provide a robust, growing middle class, to make sure that we're protecting the most vulnerable.
The most important thing right now, I think, to reclaim this country and even just reclaim our community is to get involved in some capacity.
Volunteers, we have people stepping up for committees. We have people stepping up to volunteer at campaign rallies, at walking canvases, canvassing neighborhoods that I've never seen before. You know, the young people are bringing an energy that we haven't seen in the local Democratic Party in quite some time.
The young people like the Dreamers, the young people like the students who are marching against gun violence. Particularly exciting for me is that they are willing to stand up and get engaged in canvassing and talking to their neighbors. So when the Democrats organized an organizing academy here in Spokane, we had over 400 people that came to the organizing academy and spent 4 hours on a Saturday morning saying, yes, I want to go out and talk to my neighbors and ask them what they care about. That's very exciting. That tells me that we've got rejuvenation and that our legacy of this party being engaged with people is strong and will continue to grow.